Hello, all of you there. My name is Simi Gulati, and I am a holistic well-being practitioner and life and leadership coach. And the tools that I use for my work is mostly part of emotional intelligence tools. These tools are neuro-linguistic programming, mindfulness, and emotional freedom techniques, to name a few tools. I would just introduce you to the topic of today that we are, talking about is emotional intelligence, and then we will be. I'll just take 5 minutes to do that, and share a little bit more about me, and then we will start taking questions. So next 30 minutes, then 25 minutes or so, we can take questions then. So, as I told, I am a holistic well-being practitioner, and these tools I have learned and used extensively during my corporates of over 20 years. You know, as to help enable me, give my best performance. And I'm a certified neuro-linguistic programming practitioner and a coach from Coach for Life. So, to introduce first a topic, emotional intelligence. As per my understanding, what I understand from emotional intelligence, it's the ability of an individual to be able to regulate one's emotions. So we go about our life, and we have different experiences. So our ability to, if let's say if I am at the morning, something happened and I am a little, like upset, or some unpleasant situation happens at on the way to work, let's say. So I wouldn't be able to give my best, even if I was prepared, but because my emotional state got disturbed. So my ability to regulate my emotions and to be in a state where I can give my best at work or any situation, any event which is important for me. So how it helps is, one is to give my own best performance, and another thing is also in the rapport building. So to be aware of my own emotions and to be able to gauge the other person's emotions, and then accordingly, interact with them. So it helps in that way. So that's my understanding, and as we move along, I will be talking more about it. And this is something, emotional intelligence, which plays a very crucial role in our personal and professional life. And it's my passion to, one can learn these tools. I mean, it is something which I have learned over a period of a decade and a half, and one can also learn it. So now I am ready to take questions, and I'm just checking for the questions. Okay, so there is a question. Someone has asked, uh, what are some good personal assessment tests for emotional intelligence? So, okay, so you mean to say that you are asking what are the tools, software tools? So that the variety of tools which are used in coaching for emotional intelligence specifically, I would say, I mean, I am going by the, your own ability, how you assess your own ability. It is like this, that like something unpleasant happens, so I'm, let's say, upset and I'm going for something. So how soon can I am able to change my emotion? How soon I'm able to become aware that what am I feeling, and I'm able to shift it to a state which will help me give my best. You know. So that the amount of time it takes. So some people it will take number of days probably. And some people it will be very quick. So the idea is one should not compare with others. How others are able to. One should look at one's own self. That earlier probably I took let's say a week to, or let's say 2 days. So now I'm able to, so let's say in a couple of hours. So that's my own ability to move to a higher emotional intelligence. Okay, so there's another question. How do you deal with a male colleague who may not have understanding of what emotional intelligence is? Okay, so basically, how do you deal is that you're getting some sense, maybe So it's not about what that person understands, what emotional intelligence is. Suppose you are getting this basically some male colleague, what I understand probably is some colleague is behaving in a way probably which is discomforting to you, you know. So how will you deal with this? It is first of all you become aware, that this is causing me discomfort, and then once you become uncomfortable, then once you're aware that what's happening to you, what are you feeling, so then you can make a conscious choice. You can, so next step would be to become aware of your own surroundings, what the situation is like, what this guy is, and what he's doing, how is it impacting you, is it impacting your work, is it impacting your safety, and then you make a conscious choice. One would be, let's say, so one can look at different options. So one is that one can communicate to him directly or indirectly, what is the way. The other could be, through someone else, it needs to be communicated, or if there's something that one needs to change in one's own interactions with him, so that one can look at one's own discomfort. Okay, so that's I hope I have answered to some extent how you can handle the situations, and probably I can share from my own experience one of the things that when I was in my one of my office, I've experienced this, that a colleague who was behaving in certain way which was causing me discomfort, so how I dealt with it, if there are kind of messages which are coming which are not appropriate, I shared with my senior, because I was at the client side. So I shared with my senior from my side of the organization, and and he gave me some inputs, and also, and I took a choice to not encourage his, if he wanted me to, so it was a mixture of it's not really emotional intelligence, it was his behavior was not appropriate, so I took a call and I made a appropriate informed choice about it. Okay, so another question which has come is Hamida is asking, what is emotional intelligence and how can it be put to use at office place and at home or in personal life? So like I shared the emotional intelligence, I shared what it is that becoming aware of what I'm feeling, my own emotions. See, if you see most of the people, they're not even aware about what are they feeling, so it takes some effort initially, to become aware of what one is feeling. So how to do that is probably, if you are, let's say, you're getting some discomfort, you don't know what your feeling is. So one way to do it could be, which probably you can do with me, is take some deep breaths, 1 or 2 3 deep relaxed breaths, and tune into yourself and see what it is, what it is feeling, so when you do the practice and you continue doing it for some time, you will be able to know whether it is, first of all, labeling it, what this feeling is, whether I am unhappy, whether I am feeling hurt, whether I am feeling my expectations are not met, so I'm angry or I'm upset. So once we are able to know, become what I'm feeling, now then I have a choice to now know I'm feeling upset about what, I'm feeling angry about what. At times it is very visible, like something has just happened, so I'm upset about it. So now what a choice I have is, okay, I was going to an important meeting, let's say, or going to my office where I have something important, I'm meeting someone important. So what choice do I have? One choice I have is I go like this, and I know then, like when we are upset, I'm angry, what we do normally, we don't even listen. So obviously when I am not even listening to what other person is saying, that the probability is I would not even respond to him well, and even my gestures would be like this, that the it will not go well, the whole, if there's a meeting, it will not go well. And also chances are, while if something has happened in the morning and I am in a upset mood, the chances are on the way also something can go. So one thing leads to another, So then with emotional intelligence, I have a choice. Once I become aware, this is what is happening and its impact. What I can do is, it takes some effort, but it can be done. Is that I am able to regulate my emotions. I am able to choose the emotion I want to be. How do we do that? Is one is that, like I just told, take a deep relaxed breath. Because what happens is, like neurolinguistic programming tells us, this tool tells us, our mind and body is connected. So what happens is, let's say, when I take a deep breath, or the other could be, I think of a, my own confident state. So I move my body back. So you start feeling, when you do shift your posture a little bit, move your shoulders, you can look up. So you can start shifting your, like when you move your body, your state, mental state or emotional state will also shift. uh, Another thing you can do is, I'm sharing some tips from my own examples, is that you can have a set of ready things with you, which you can jot down. What are the things which you do that helps you change your emotional state? For some people it will be listening to some music. For some people it will be, let's say, art or playing with the children, or going out for a walk in nature. So you can have a awareness of what these things are which help me move my state. And then at that point of time, depending upon what that situation is, let's say if I am in a hurry, so maybe then I can just look up, move my shoulders, and I can start feeling better. Or I can do even a very quick thing is a memory recall. You can have some good, a list of good memories. Like there are some people, you just think about them and your smile comes to you. Your children. You are, I'm like, you are all mothers, so you have children. You all love our children. So thinking about the children, normally would shift your energy, immediately. So you can do one of these things. And so once you are able to change your state at will, and it will happen with the practice, it will not happen overnight. Once you're able to do it, obviously then you are feeling good, you are feeling happier, would be able to give your best performance. When you're talking to someone, you will be in a happier state of mind. So obviously the interaction will go well. And that's how, at office or at home, both places, your interaction could be more fruitful, productive, and that's how it will help you. This is the question I've tried to answer, and giving some tips as well, how you can change your, regulate. I mentioned about earlier about regulation of emotions. So I tried to give some examples. How do I regulate my own emotions? Also I meditate. So you can have one of these which helps you. Okay, so there's another question which has come: how can one use emotional intelligence when going through bad criticism? Yeah, so I can understand the question is like, sometimes it happens in, our life, is that something we are going through a time when, a criticism that comes, and, obviously the immediate interaction is, the reaction probably would be to, we might feel a little hurt, or maybe one can feel a little rejected, you know. So what one can do is, like I said, the immediate thing would be probably to get hurt and upset. Again, just take a deep breath, relax, and once you are in a little relaxed frame of mind, you can think what is it, why and where it is coming from. And once you are able to, once you are in a different kind of frame of mind, then one is able to think the reason behind it. So there could be two reasons. There could be, sometimes another thing that happens sometimes is, like sometimes it is, it is not that someone has said something which is why we get upset. Sometimes it's something, sometimes we face our own triggers also, that could also be a reason. So try to see, there could be a legitimate reason, because, it's something sometimes, so it could be like a feedback coming to me that I have not been able to do something as was expected. So then, if one is able to look at that, one can fix that thing, and you can take ownership of it. If I was not able to think coolly, probably my reaction could have been, you can see what reaction could have been, like when you're hurt and angry, what is the reaction like? You probably will go in a shell, will not respond, you will not communicate. But once we are able to think what exactly might have happened, the reason behind it, then one can take a appropriate action, whether to find out more, like about it, what did not go well, or and then do something about it. Okay. So Gitanjali is asking, how do you measure emotional intelligence in the workplace? So like I said, the ability, your own ability, to, so if to measure my for one's own self, my ability to, after let's say something unexpected has happened, my ability uh, to become normal, my ability to be able to carry on my work, and how much it's affecting my work, how soon can I become my normal functional self. That's the assessment, that's my measure, like, and it changes over a period of time. Initially probably, again it might be more longer time, and some other time it could be like, sooner, you can quickly bounce back. And with time, like for myself, I'm sharing from my own self. Earlier it used to take much longer for me, but now I'm able to kind of, with using one of these tools, I'm able to bounce quickly, out of the situations. Or another thing is that if something is not totally resolved, it is still there in the back of mind, but when I'm able to write it down, that okay, this is something I need to come back to, and I'm not caught up at that thing throughout, what I was doing in my work is getting hampered, or whatever important thing I have in my hand, that's getting hampered. So that's how one can measure emotional intelligence tools, and for other people similarly, when you're interacting with some other person, and we all have interactions, so you can observe, something unexpected happen, and how much time that person took, or how much was that person aware. At times the awareness itself is not there, to the person that I mean, that person probably is angry, and is interacting a certain way, and not aware, that this is what is happening to him, and that is how he's behaving a certain way with people, and how it is impacting the other people, the interactions. Maybe our discussion is going on. So watching and observing someone, you can probably observe, and surely there are tools, there are assessment, and there are tools which can give you, like idea about various aspects, of like whether which tools will give you a, how much you are on that skill. Right now I don't have those handy list of some tools to give you, you know okay. So there's another question which is coming, is Divya is asking, I am from HR background, how do you assess emotional intelligence in an interview? So, how do you assess emotional intelligence in an interview? Is probably what you can do is, see, one I think many people, many times now these days we have is, we ask situations, situational questions, we ask them, give an example that something happened, like something unpleasant happened, or you had a challenge, then how did you, so situational questions is one way, you know that you ask them situational questions which they answer, or you can give a particular situation also, like which is like, that one is likely to, let's say a negative, like a negative feedback, let's say, or something which you expected and didn't happen, so how did you cope up with that, how did you manage that? So that is when you can ask situational questions. And another thing could be that you can create that situation, let's say that that what if this happened right now, which is something which is, let's say, okay, what if you're told that there's an interview happening and you are told that we've already found the people, or so that kind of questions which basically helps you see whether how that person is. So I just give one example. There could be many such questions which can be thought about, is that like, okay, let's say you're going to an interview, and suddenly that in the office there is some emergency which has come up, and how would you like handle this situation. So again, there is something that has happened unexpected. So what the person responds from that answer, you can gauge from the verbal reply and also from the expressions. So yeah, employers definitely. Sushma is asking, do employers look for emotional intelligence? Definitely. Today, I honestly feel emotional if not more, it is equally important, like intelligence or IQ, because if someone is brilliant, he knows everything, but he's not able to manage his own emotions, and he just has a trigger because something happens, some difference of opinion. That's another question. Someone is asked. So difference of opinion. There are two people who have difference of opinion. So that's another question. I'm going to the previous question now. The HR can ask a difference of opinion. That's one question. So like in that kind of a situation, if one is not able to manage one's emotions and one gets into pushing his own or her views down, and there is a conflict for any reason. So I'm just giving some example. So if in such a case, if one is not able to manage one's emotions or find a way wherein can express his views, and also listen to the other person with the equally, without being judgmental about the other person, because the person's view is different than what one is having, and very strongly opinionated about one's own views. So in that case, you can imagine what will happen, if there's a teamwork. So employers definitely today, it's becoming very important. The emotional intelligence plays a very, very important role in today's environment. Even if you are physically being in the same place, or even if you are interacting on a remotely, for instance, there could be, even if you are working remotely, if there is a communication gap, you're not understood, and something has gone because of that gap, something has gone like differently than it was expected. So then now this is again an unexpected thing. So how do you deal with this situation? So emotional intelligence is a very, very important aspect of for giving one's own performance and also for the interactions. Okay, so there's another question which has come, is what is a good career for someone with highly emotional intelligence? So like I said, all the wherever you are interacting with people, everywhere, if you are someone with someone who has a high emotional intelligence, it is going to support you in giving your best and making strong relationships. Also, one can learn if you want to work with in that area with other people. So working with people, life coaching, let's say, the NLPs and linguistic programming. So you can learn these tools, and like I do one-on-one sessions, and I teach also these tools. So that's another, becoming a trainer or with these tools, or also in your otherwise in the jobs also. Someone who has a emotional intelligence is sensitive to one's own emotions and ability to regulate those, and with the others, the rapport forming will really help. So it is going to help in any career, but you can, if you want, you can have a career like a trainer or a facilitator or a coach. Okay, so we are just reaching another 3 minutes to go, and I just missed, and I wanted to express my gratitude to we will take some questions if they come, and I'm really very happy to be here, and I want to express my gratitude to Jobs for her for giving this opportunity. And I'm very, very passionate about these tools, because I feel they have made a huge difference to my own ability to ability to perform, give my best, or form bonds with people in my one-on-one sessions and with the groups when interact. So these are some of the career choices, I mean, I just wanted to complete that, which I missed earlier. Like the last question, I'm just completing that question which came to me, is the good career that you asked is, as I just answered, is you can become a trainer, you can become a facilitator, because if you're working with the groups, your ability to gauge and know where someone is feeling discomfort, someone is not, like something has happened. So if you're able to do that, it means you have high emotional intelligence. You're able to sense something is happening in the room. Are there any drawbacks or disadvantage of high EQ? Um, no, I don't think. See, this is not really a drawback or disadvantage. Some people will say that you are highly sensitive. You pick up things. So it is that, anything in excess people say is bad. No, so now you have to learn. One has to learn to manage. How to use it. Basically, it's not about it. It's a disadvantage of having a high IQ. It could be, possibilities if you are high EQ. It's not really high EQ. It will be high sensitivity. High EQ means that you are able to, manage it. So it's not really a disadvantage having a high EQ. How are organizations taking steps to develop emotional intelligence? So, like these kind of training programs, where the mindfulness is a beginning, which is like knowing where you are, like ability to know, become aware of my own emotions, my own, so it begins with your body, because that's more physical thing, becoming aware of my breath, my body, and then emotions. So the organizations, these days we hear a lot, like lot of organizations are talking about mindfulness. If you go to LinkedIn, everybody's talking about these days for mindfulness. It's becoming like a key buzzword. So that's a starting point. Mindfulness is a starting point for, becoming aware of what's happening, because only when you become aware, then you can, do something about it. Unless you don't know what is happening. So mindfulness is one. A lot of organizations, even I've seen these days, Project Management Institute, PMI talks about NLP, neuro linguistic programming. So it's becoming like commonly known things. Emotional freedom techniques is something which is very easy to learn. So many of these now the organizations are realizing. In fact, I read the other day, one of the key area in the future, when the, the for the, giving the jobs, like the one of the key criteria is emotional intelligence. So that's where, like it's a very important aspect. So we are just reaching the time. It's 3:31. I guess we'll have to end the live, and I thank a lot to all of you to be here and listen to me share some of my experiences, and I hope it helps you. And it's a beginning, and how, the first step, takes you a long way, so you can start, developing your EQ. Thanks a lot to all of you. Any books, websites to recommend for? So so there, so you can find neuro-linguistic programming for basic neuro-linguistic programming is one, like I would recommend. That's not the title of the book, I suppose, because normally I have not read from the books. I have attended most of the training programs. I don't have Hindi, names of the books, but it's possible. Probably I can share with jobs for her. Okay, I can look up and share. But these are basically, these are experiential tools basically. So just by reading books, I feel just by reading it doesn't really help. It's more to do with the so I would suggest, to start, just to begin with, I suppose some of you have had a session, may have attended a session, just I think last week or so there was a session on mindfulness. So just mindfulness is not about just closing your eyes and sitting. It is about start observing around you. So that's where your awareness will develop. And I said awareness is the first step towards the building your EQ. Okay, so I hope it gives you some insights. Otherwise, books and websites, one can, like, there's a lot available on Google these days. But personally, I have not. That's why I'm not able to put a name or name of a book or website, because I have, I think probably, like, not Udemy. There are some other, but they are mostly meditations that I've seen. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to end the live today. Thanks a lot for all of you for listening to me. Have a great day, and you can start by becoming more observant and paying attention to your own self, your breath, and the things around you, and some of the steps that I shared using your physiology to shift the emotional states. Have a list of what all things make you regulate your emotions, and you can use your memories, your thoughts. So these are the things, some of the things I would like to leave you with.